Hi! Welcome to Far Cry 4. We're doing a DLC mission, the Blood Ruby. Here's the guy to introduce it.
Ajay, I have a friend in the guard. He tells me that Pagan's men are hunting after the ruby of Prabodhana, the blood ruby and the eye of enlightenment. The ruby must be returned to its people when the country is safe. Until then, don't let them steal it. They'll sell it, and we'll lose a piece of our heritage. Here, I'll show you where to go.
So I'd argue a slightly flimsy premise, but whatever. It's extra content. It's up in the Himalayas. It's all good fun. We've got to go and see the Sherpa, the same guy that we saw for, I think, a Longinus mission and the Syringe, the other DLC mission. Although I haven't done Herc's missions yet. We come up here. I died once, just running headlong into the second area. So this is the second run. I've also upped the brightness quite considerably. It's a nighttime mission with just the moon out and it's pretty dark. And watching the playback, it was really hard to see. I started off with some bait. This area is actually much easier to clear than that. You can see the bear coming in any second here. There he is. Hello, buddy. There's two snipers, one in the distance, one on a tower. The bear there is pretty angry with me, but I let him get to the bait. And then two guys down on the road. I could have, what I did the first time, and I cleaned it through pretty easily, was to pop this guy the same as I did the first time. Up here, the one in the distance. Because he's isolated and no one can see him, so he's an easy target there. And then come around to get the sniper on the tower because he doesn't face down and the two guards are pretty oblivious. And then what you can use is a knife takedown on one of the guards in the street. And then I just shot the other one in the back with the shredder. This isn't a bad way to do it. Bear grenades are always fun. The bear is still up there, and I'm taking the Stinger. That's the SMG, the other signature weapon. I thought I'd change it up a bit from, sorry, not in the back with the shredder, in the back with the Stinger. I thought I'd mix it up a bit from the shredder because the shredder is kind of overpowered. There's a note here. Fresh slaves arrived. They'll be put to work immediately tomorrow morning. Yeah, so, I mean, the shredder was making it a bit too easy, but the Stinger makes it a bit too hard. It's kind of the clues in the name. It stings. You can get a headshot with it. It's a little harder. The scope, I think I got into this in the previous video, but the scope isn't so great. But, yeah, you know, you work with what you've got. I've also got the RPG. I think my sidearm is the autocross. And on the bottom, the sniper rifle, the Z93. Anyway, that's the first area cleared, and here's where I messed up last time. These two bodies got seen? Not sawn in half, no magic tricks here. These two bodies got seen, and they set the alarm off, and I just got shot in the face. So I came back exactly the same way. Rock takedown, knife throw takedown, just moving the body this time, although getting burnt pretty comprehensively in the process. I've got an extra health point from completing Key to the North, along with dominant, the better hunting syringe. Dominant strength, no, that's not dominant strength. Focus syringe too, sorry, dodge bullets, but again I don't really use it. Now there's two guys here kind of facing each other. The one low is in the light, so he seemed like an immediately poor choice. The other guy's up high, so he's going to be harder for the dude down below to see. And I get a quick takedown. Luckily, while that guy's head's turned, I'm not sure what would have happened if he'd seen me. Anyway, then it's a run back around, and you'll notice I've sped quite a lot of this up. Just where I'm backtracking or going over ground I've already covered. Or in a loop fest between areas. Here, this guy doesn't see me come around here. He might have heard me drop down there, but I got lucky. He turns around here before he gets the alarm, and I get the takedown. He doesn't raise anyone else, so I put this alarm out just to be safe. As it turns out, we're coming back down this way. So it was probably prudent to do that. I was trying to see if there was a way around there, but there isn't. So I headed back up around here to try and loop around the back of them. Now this looked like too aggressive an approach. Actually, I could have probably snuck into that house and taken out a rocket launcher guy. I like the way they also get a sniper icon, but instead I decided to head around the back and work from the back, which in retrospect, you know, the benefit of hindsight and all that, but not the best plan. I was going to swing across there, but in the end just slid down quietly. It seemed to be a little bit closer, and I wanted to hope that this guy was in here and I'd be able to get him, but as it turns out, you'll see I slow it down here. He's just in the window, so there isn't an easy approach there. And while I was trying to work out what to do next, he starts walking. So I thought, well, that's a good chance to at least get in this room and see what's going on and potentially get close to this alarm. Now I could have just stood up there and shot the alarm, but as you'll see, he kind of sees me when I make that jump, and I'm not sure he wouldn't have seen me shoot the alarm. At this point, one of them's seen me, and all hell breaks loose. Fortunately, they haven't run for the alarm, so that's good, so I run for it instead and get the alarms disabled. The last thing I want at this point is reinforcements, and I'm left with the Stinger. Thought I might be able to jump up onto the roof. No roof jumping. And you can see there, it's great for headshots if you can line them up. It shakes around a little bit, the recoil isn't too terrible. But I'm emptying an entire magazine in there, and I'd expect the shredder to kill them all and still have some left to shoot. But a body shot is much, much harder. The individual bullet damage on this gun is pretty pathetic, even though presumably it's the same caliber because it's all SMG. I guess the damage is defined by the gun itself, but I'm okay with that. Anyway, headshot there, and as I said, I think it would have been a better plan all round if I'd just gone in the front, taken out that sniper, and then come around the back. There's a note here. Wish you had a better memory so I didn't have to write things like this down. Goodies hidden in a box under the bridge, so I'm like, ooh, where's the bridge? So after looting all the corpses and having a look around, making sure I haven't missed anything, there's one tricky chest here on top of... Tricky chest? Yeah, on top of this roof. Not that tricky. But I like to get everything, as you probably know. And then around here, I thought the bridge might be there, but it's not, and I'm looking for it. Oh, there it is. So over here, down on the ground, just the other side, there's that box, and there's not much in it of any note, as I remember. I think a little more money than usual, but nothing spectacular. I was kind of hoping for gold or, I don't know, something. Excuse me with the yawning. Up here, into the next area, and I take a hunting syringe in a second just to make sure there's no one around, and actually it's really safe here. And I could have dropped down onto the road and just run around, but I decided to go up high just to be safe. And then a little leap over here and a drop down onto the roof, and there's one chest in this little guard post here, there, along with some ammo and other various bits and pieces. And dropping down here is that chest, and you'll see what's in it in a second. I think like 13,000 Kyrats, or rupees or whatever. Yeah, 13 and a half. So, I mean, not spectacular. Anyway, along here there's a few more guys that I've actually tagged with the hunting syringe. I should have used another one when I got closer. And I spend a lot of time faffing in here. I should have probably just charged in guns blazing. It would have ended up a lot better. Instead I muck around with mines and all sorts. There's a guy there and another one on the ground there. Yeah, I should have really closed in on these guys and just taken them down. As it is, I come up around here and get spotted quite early on. Oh, it's tense, isn't it? So there's a guy leaning there. I can't really get a good, decent takedown on him from there. There's a sniper up here, and then a guy under here. So this guy goes down pretty easily. That's an easy takedown. The sniper above can't see him. The guy against the bag can't either. I make a kind of nominal attempt at hiding the body, but this guy sees him. He doesn't see me, thankfully. So I come around with a stinger equipped just in case he turns around, but it's a pretty easy takedown there. I was hoping for a knife takedown on the sniper, but now you can see this guy on the left is approaching, and the sniper doesn't seem to have noticed anything amiss yet. So I wanted to get this guy. I kind of freak out a little bit because I'm worried that the sniper's going to be able to see me. As it is, he doesn't really have line of sight from here. I'd have probably been quite safe. And again I turn around to go for the knife takedown. Oh, sorry, I tried for the gun takedown on the sniper, but that failed, and of course that alerts everyone. So now I've got all the bad men coming in, and no really good weapon to deal with a situation like this. The sniper's going to see me pretty quickly, you can see there. It doesn't take much for him to see me as soon as I'm moving. So I put some bullets in him, but not before he's pretty much seen me, and everything's been heard. Now the game is afoot. Rocket launcher time. I'm hoping I can get a couple of multi-kills to take these guys out. There's one down. And I think another coming in a second. And a hunting syringe here again to try and highlight some of the bad guys, but there's many more coming in that haven't been tagged. And I'm not quite sure where they come from. There's another guy down. And the RPG's not bad. It's giving me more luck, even though the reload speed is terrible. It's giving me more luck than the launcher. I just find it really hard to mentally calibrate the arc of attack. And here I chuck some mines out because I've had luck with them in the past, but it doesn't really work out. I get a lucky headshot there. And another guy coming up. I couldn't really get a death from below. I should have turned around and done a takedown on him and kept it. Instead I kind of just slash at him with a knife, which is pretty appalling. And now I'm down in this pit with an unknown number of enemies around. I chuck some C4 up, but then never actually detonate it. Mines I much prefer for this sort of work because people will patrol onto them. Grenade coming through that clips me, but it doesn't hurt too much. And I've got more than enough health packs here. picking up a poorly placed mine there. And there's two guys up there to the left you can see, and one down here. There's actually much more down there, but I don't pick up on them until later. Thankfully one of these guys wanders out into the open, but his friend very smartly doesn't want to come out to play. Suspects there's probably a sniper there, I imagine. And again, I'm ignoring the mini-map at this point, foolishly not looking. There's a guy down here, and I chuck a rock to try and get his attention, but for some reason it sets the mine off, even though I haven't quite thrown it yet. I guess it does that collision detection before it plays the animation, but I'm okay with that. Guy coming up there, and somehow I get him through the rock. Lucky shot in the back. And then this guy's finally come out, but miss, and I think another miss, even though he doesn't detect me. Really poor show, and then he runs off to hide again. So he's lost, and there's actually a guy coming up here to stand pretty much on top of me. You'll see him on the mini-map closing in. I try and get that guy, I get him with a headshot, and I think, yeah, here we go, you can see on the mini-map they're closing in, and I don't notice this one coming up, pretty much to stand in front of me for a few seconds. There he is there. You can sort of see him through the crack. Excuse me. You can see him through the crack there, but I haven't noticed him quite yet because he hasn't shown up on the hunting syringe. And then it's back to grenades. I figure I'll chuck one down there and see what I can do with that. And I get a lucky multi-kill there, two of them I suspect. It must have clipped something else, perhaps a barrel, to get that, because grenade range would not normally get both of those guys. This guy is still hiding pretty well, so I kind of sneak around the side to see if I can get him. And then see finally this guy, who I've heard shooting a little bit. And the Stinger gets a lucky headshot in. But it is a very, very close range weapon compared to the Shredder. Then there's a little bit of looting, obviously. One guy is still up here, he's not exposing himself just yet, but here he goes. And finally, he succumbs to a headshot, which pretty much leaves us all wrapped up here. I go back and start looting bodies and pick up some mines and C4 that were on the ground, open a couple of chests. Nothing too well hidden here, just follow the markers. And then see a mine here in a cart, which is an amazing one that I've thrown that I can't get back. You can probably hear it chittering in the background, sped up. And then have a look around here, which basically just leads me up to these bodies here. And then there's another path up here, which is just really not much more than a corridor around, which presumably is used for a stealth entry. And it might be fun, on the second playthrough I might try a stealth one on this, we'll see. I know that some people from reading Reddit have been doing bow-only playthroughs, which I imagine is supremely challenging, but a lot of fun. And there's some guys up here. I get seen pretty early on, so it's out with the RPG, knowing that the Stinger is not going to be much help against armies of men, whereas the RPG is going to let me one-shot kill them, and with the improved explosive damage kill, so I'll get 60 instead of 20 from what's almost certain to be just sloppy Stinger shots. I really can't talk today. Another explosion, and the XP's racking up here. You can see it chunking around quite happily. I think we're like 2,000 per skill now. I foolishly blow up those two cars, and later on you'll see I blow up the two snowmobiles that come up, and I really would have liked to have exited on a snowmobile. That would have been a lot of fun just cruising by, but again I've got completely the wrong sidearm. I've kept with the autocross. There's a book there, it takes me a while to actually get a hang on it. Today we found a huge ruby, beautiful. Slaves only had to work for 15 hours. A great day for everyone. Yes it is. And here is the blood ruby in the box along with some money. There it is. There. Now, I went to open it and saw that and then was like, what? And so then opened this chest, because that's what I was on the way to do anyway. And then you basically torch it for a little bit and open it, and then some guards appear. There's an RPG by the window in case you didn't bring one, so you can pretty much just run up to the window and shoot out of that. Not that window, but you'll see on the way back. Anyway, it's an easy kill there, 60, and then a multi-kill comes up. The first window there on the left has an RPG by it. And then it's just opening this. I've sped it up 4 or 5 times. It's actually pretty slow work, but once you take out that initial group there's nothing to do. As soon as you grab the blood ruby, however, and there it is. I thought it was a heart at first, but no, of course it's a blood ruby. There's the Ripperger, the RPG, right there in the window. Now 2 snowmobiles come up, and as I said, I wish I'd left one alive, because I think riding a snowmobile just out fast would have been a lot of fun. But no, I'm a fool. Anyway, a little bit of looting here, and there's more guys coming up, which is why I didn't speed that up, and I'm stuck with the Stinger, not keeping an eye on the minimap. There's one guy just in front of me here who I run straight past. And then again, I should have been keeping a better eye on the mini-map because this guy's flanking me from all over here and I get very close to this barrel, which is foolish. And this would have been a great place to use a dodge syringe, focus syringe level 2. Just because there's loads of guys shooting at me, obviously. There's a pyro over here. The Z93 will one-shot pyros and heavies generally, which is good. 250 experience, nothing to be sniffed at. I mean, this DLC is definitely worth a level or two if you do it stealth. And easily a level even if you don't, just use explosives to mop up. And back with the Stinger. Now I'm wondering if that wasn't a snowmobile over there, but I don't see a snowmobile icon on the map. And sorry, I'm looking at this preview in low quality just so it doesn't stutter while I'm talking. It's sometimes hard for me to make this stuff out. A grenade down there for I think a multi-kill? Yep. And there's one guy left here. A little kill from the Stinger, hopefully he'd already been weakened, and then I think another grenade for the final kill there. Yeah. Now there's a couple of guys still down here, but they are prone to sniper rifle shots being quite far away. You can see there's one over the ledge here, and actually I think I'll grenade him too. Cook it for a little bit first, and he won't be able to get out of the way in time. Then it's a straight run down here. I've got the hunting syringe up just to make sure I don't run into any bad guys, but that's the little weird shortcut I took, and then back around to here. To where that mine is, over here, just on the right. And then up back to where the bridge is here, and I run over the bridge this way, nearly get seen, and there's 3 guys over here. For some reason I don't use a hunting syringe, not sure why. Tag 1 with the sniper rifle, then 2 with the sniper rifle, and then figure, well, I may as well use the camera at this point. And that pulls up a 3rd quite quickly. And that's it for this little area, so quite straightforward, and actually these guys very foolish. I've mentioned before the Z93 is ridiculous at stealth. So I kill him, his friend doesn't notice. Kill him, and the other guy may have seen the body or he may just be on patrol. Sorry, what am I talking about? He definitely hasn't seen the body, he's just having a bit of a wander. So I drop down in a second, figuring he's not going to come around because he stops there just to have a look, and run into his hut to take him out from behind after looting a corpse, obviously. Wouldn't be one of my missions if I didn't stop to loot everything. And then that little flicker there, I was just having a look at the skills menu to activate the grenade takedown because I'd forgotten what button it was, and it's the right bumper on the gamepad when you're playing on PC and presumably on Xbox too. There's one guy down here in the road. I spend way too much time worrying about him instead of just putting one in his head. But there he is, there. Although actually now looking at it, he's got a rocket launcher, so maybe that was the right move. And then again it's a fairly clean run down to here until I see a truck coming around the side. You'll see it there. So the RPG makes short work of that, and there only appears to be one guy in there anyway. Although, do I get 2 60s for that? I forget. Yeah, 2, so maybe there were 2 and only one showed up, the one that was talking. One final guy down here in the road that takes me far too long to find. He's actually over the edge in the road proper, which is why I can't see him. I'm convinced he's under that little hut. I still haven't quite got the hang of the distance on the minimap, and really I should have just used the hunting syringe again. But you'll see him around here. There we are, and one in his head. And that's it. All clear, all done. Now it's just a slingshot out. Cool little slide under the gate. And up and over here past where we got the first bear. Dirty little wingsuit and a parachute, and back to the Sherpa. Thank you, RJ. You've you've shaved another piece of our history. And that is the Blood Ruby complete. So that's yeah, the second DLC mission. I'll go and do the Herc mission shortly. Anyway, on the left is Depler's Fortress, and on the right is the first bell tower, I think bell tower number 11, of the North Kyrati. So there's that if you want to see that. Then I'll get on with the story. On the top right, the playlist for all the Far Cry adventures, and on the left, all the story missions. Anyway, I hope that was useful. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.